What's up, guys? We're going to take you to school today. Learn about some early Ford wheels. All right. Let's go. Early Ford wheels. We're going to start with Model A and we're going to end up in the early 50s. When you guys are looking for wire wheels or wheels for your project or your hot rod or a match for one that you have one missing or bent, I'm going to show you the differences between the wire wheels, and I'm actually going to show you kind of the consecutive order from Model A all the way up to the early 50s. So let's get going. 2829 Model A. 21-inch wheel. You can see it's got a 2-inch hubcap opening. The main thing you're going to recognize is going to be this lip right here. Doesn't really have a defined lip. It's just rolled over back onto itself. Not like most of the early Ford wheels, or actually current steel wheels. They're just not made like that. 21-inch. This is 2829 Model A wheel. Approximately 2 3/4 inch maybe wide. 21-inch. Okay, in 30 and 31, they went to a 19-inch. They dropped sizes significantly by a couple inches. Got a larger hubcap, like a 3-inch or so, 3 or 4-inch hole there for the hubcap. And then you'll notice the lip. They actually have a lip on there, unlike the 2829s, which have the rolled edge. Roll back into itself, kind of a tube almost. These are just a lip. Now, when you're measuring wheels, you don't measure from outside to outside out here. You measure from the inside of this lip here. The bead where the tire sets right there is going to be that edge right there and that edge right there. That's going to give you your dimension of the wheel for the tire. Outside to outside, it's going to usually be about 1.5 inches or so. Inch to 1.5 inches. Larger, so this one's a 19. It's probably going to be a 20.5 wide, so you know. Moving right along, 32 Ford. 32 Ford drops to 18-inch. They dropped 1 inch from the Model A wheel. Went a little wider. They're 3.5 inches wide here, and they still have the lip. And this is the time they go to the bigger 6-inch hubcap. The 4-banger hubcap and the V8 hubcap are the same size. No difference there. The only difference is just in the script on the cover of the hubcap. The 4-banger is going to have the Ford script, and the V8 is going to have the V8 script, obviously. There you go. 18-inch 1932 Ford wheels. All right, in 33, 34, here you go. They drop another size, 17-inch. Same exact look as a 18-inch 32 wheel, just 1 inch shorter. Same lip, same hubcap opening, and the hubcaps will switch. So you can run 33, 34 hubcaps on a 32 or 32 hubcaps on a 33, 34 wheel. Still, again, 3.5 inches wide. And all the boat patterns on these are going to be 5 on 5.5. So these were made for the, you can see these were made for a hub that accepts the wire wheel. The wire wheel hubs are different than the later hubs that take the Steelies. 33, 34. All right, here's the most desirable hot rod wheel, I would say. 16-inch 35 wheels. 1 year only, 1935. So in 1935, they dropped down to another inch, 16-inch wheel, and went to a 4-inch wide wheel. Cars were getting a little bit bigger. So I don't know if that gave them a little bit more cushion with the bigger tires, because you have a lot more sidewall on a 16 than you do like on an 18 or 19. So probably gave them a little bit more cushion, I would say. I would just guess that. Again, the center is exactly the same. 6-inch style, 32s, 33, 34 hubcaps will fit in this wheel. The only difference is going to be just the script and what's stamped on the hubcap between the years. So 32 to 35, each year is going to have different script in the middle. 35, they only ran the V8. They didn't run any bangers on there. So there's only one hubcap. So there you go. Now, the main difference between this one and the 17 and the 18, which really they look all alike. They look identical if you just first glance at them. The main difference, if you're looking for a 16-inch, see that, where's that valve stem hole? See that valve stem hole? It's going to be nice and flat. And that's what you're going to look for. That's going to tell you it's a 16. It's the only year they made wire wheels. They're 16-inch. It's 35. If you'll look at this one right here, see that and how it's got a flare? 17s and 18s, 32s and 33, 34s all have the flare. So if you're looking at these three wheels relatively quickly or from a glance or from a little ways away, you look at the valve stem core. If you're looking for 16s, that's the one you're going to want. It's the one with the flat hole. Just like that. It's not flared. So quickly, if you grab these two and you go, oh my goodness, I don't have my tape measure. This one looks bigger. This one looks bigger. This one looks smaller. You can quickly look at that valve stem hole and you'll know whether it's a 16 or a 17 or 18. Now the only difference between the 17 and the 18 is just going to be the height. It's going to be 1 inch difference. You can usually tell by the spacing in here between the center hub part on this wheel and the lip of the rim. So it's about 4 inches here on this one. It's about 3 inches on this one. And it's about 2 inches on a 16. So if you're at a swap meet, you're looking for wheels, that's what you're going to look for. Okay, here's two other wheels. I'm pretty sure that Kelsey Hayes was the manufacturer of Ford wheels. I know a lot of the wheels I have KH stamped in the back of them. A lot of the original Ford wheels, they have that. So a lot of guys don't realize that they also made a aftermarket wheel. These look alike. Those two look almost identical, don't they? But they're not. So this is going to be the same size as a 35 wire wheel. Now, you see, exactly the same. You go. So those look identical. Even the valve stem holes are flat. This one here is a Kelsey Hayes bent spoke. I'm trying to take off on me. This is a Kelsey Hayes bent spoke. This has got 40 spokes, and you can see the difference. The spokes have they come all the way through. Where on the factory Ford wheel, they don't come through. They're just welded to the rim. And you can see on the back how they come through on the back in here. All around. So they're kind of brought in there and then hammered, I guess. I'm not sure exactly how they made those. But these are going to be a 16 by 4. And that's going to be, a lot of guys love these wheels. I like them. I ran them on my 35 sedan. They look killer. They're just called Kelsey Hayes bent spoke. And this is going to be 40 spoke. Now this one was trying to get away from me. This one looks identical, doesn't it? It's not. And guys, I'm telling you, like 80% of the time a guy has a set of 4 Kelsey Hayes bent spokes, he's got one of these in there. This is actually a 16x4 motor wheel company. This is 36 spoke. The main difference is you can see where the spokes cross over, where they cross each other. Right up here by the hub. See that? Okay, on the bent spoke, they don't cross like that. They otherwise look identical. They have the same protruding spokes coming through the rim and also in the back. But it's a 36 spoke. So if you put these two together, you can see the difference. If you look at the spokes, and you can see how many spokes like these on the rim itself. There's like 3 at a time on there. These are like just back and forth. So those are aftermarket. Those are aftermarket spoke wheels for 35. You can run those on all the way up to Model T. Model Ts. Some of the Model Ts had 5 on 5.5 hubs. The early Model Ts had wooden wheels, and you usually can't find those because the termites got them. But those will fit a 35, 33, 34, 32s, 28, 29, and 30, 31s. They'll bolt right up. So, if you're confused about wheels, if I haven't confused you anymore, that should help you. Hopefully it'll help you. So these three are basically almost the same, but they're not. It's really hard to see the difference unless you got them side by side like this and you're looking at them. So these are all going to be the same size, 35s. If you want the traditional hot rod style 16-inch wheel, there you go. These right here will accept the 550 and the 750, so front and rears, 4-inch all the way around. Okay, recap real quick. 2829s had a 21-inch, 3031s had a 19-inch, 32 had an 18-inch, 3334 had a 17-inch wheel, and 35s had a 16-inch wheel. So there's your wire wheels. That's the season of the wire wheel, 28 to 35. In 36, we switch. Ford switched to a wide 5 wheel, they call it. A lot of guys call them an artillery wheel because it looks kind of artillery-ish. But that is a wide 5 Ford wheel. Now, they offered many different sizes in these. The V860 ran a 16-inch wheel with 3.5-inch wide here. A lot of guys love to run those on the fronts. I run 2 pairs of those. Actually, 1 pair on the 34 Tom Sellers coupe and 1 pair on the 34 panel truck I have. And I have a couple pair left that I'm going to put to use on something else. But 16-inch, same as the 35s, but they went to that bigger pattern. So you have to have a completely different hub to run these. No difference. There's no difference in the hoop between the wire wheel and this, just the bolt pattern and the hub mounting part. So they made these in a 3.5-inch, a 4-inch, a 4.5, a 5, and a 5.5. So some of these, the bigger sizes, are going to be on cars and trucks. I would assume that the 4.5 is probably a standard truck size. 4-inch was car, 3.5-inch was V860. And then when you got to a 5 or a 5.5-inch wide one, that was an accessory for like trucks that had to go out in the country to deliver or something like that, you know, work trucks, or it was an accessory for farm trucks if you wanted to add a bigger wheel if you were in the muddy roads or whatever, you know. But most of these you'll find in a 4 or 4.5-inch. 3.5-inch, you'll have to look for those. Same lip again. They never changed the lip after 32. The lip stayed the same on all the steel wheels. It stayed just like that. So there you go. Wide 5. 36 to 39. In 40, we switch to the Steely. You see, this is the regular old Steely. They made these for a bazillion years. And it's going to take the big 8-inch hubcap. They made many different sizes. They made 4, 4.5s. This is actually a 5, probably a truck wheel. Yep. So 16-inch. These are on the cars. Now in 40, they offered the V8 60 package from 37 to 40. 40 was the last year for the V8 package, V8 60. People don't realize that. On the V8 60, they ran a 3.5-inch wide wheel. Like the wide 5 I just showed you, it was 3.5. They ran these in a 3.5, which is super rare to find one of these wheels in a 3.5-inch wide pattern. Or 3.5-inch wide hoop. They ran these wheels from 40 to 48. Then in 50, they went to an outer nub type hubcap, not the inner nub like this one. And they stayed at 16 for, I think, maybe 2 years. And then went to a 15-inch with the outer nub. That's on shoe boxes, so we're not dealing with shoe boxes today. But on the F1 pickup, which we pull a lot of parts from for our hot rods, they ran these 16-inch wheels from 48 to 52 on the F1s. And then in 53, they dropped the size once more to a 15. Same exact hubcap. The hubcap still pops in the same from 40. This wheel was ran all the way up to the early 60s in Ford trucks. Cars stayed 4.5 pattern. Trucks were still at 5 on 5.5 pattern. And I think they ran these to 63 on the F100 pickups. So any of the hubcaps from 40 to 48 on cars, and from 48 all the way to 63 trucks will pop into these hubcaps, or the 16-inch hubcaps like you see on the 40 to 48 cars. They went to a little wider. I think this one's a 5-inch. And they made some different widths on these. In the early 60s on the Ford trucks, I think the 4-wheel drives ran a 16-inch wheel. I believe 59 was the first year for factory 4-wheel drive options, so they had a step-up size in those at a 16-inch, and I think it was a little wider as well. But that's your wheels. That's the wheels you got there. If you're looking for hot rod wheels, 50s and 60s hot rod builds, a lot of guys ran these. A lot of guys took these and reversed them and put this on the outside and reversed the center and did the reverse style wheel and still ran a stock hubcap. These were great for 50s, 60s style build. Most 40s and early 50s style builds, you'll want to stay with the 16s, the wires, or the Steelies. Or you can just stay with whatever you like. So, let's recap that. 28, 29, 21 inch. I'm just going over it with you guys so that you can keep up. I'm going to end up dropping in a picture at the end of the video with just a static picture with all the sizes in the year range on these wheels, so that you guys can, if you're watching it on your phone, you can just screen capture that and save that in your photos, and then when you're at a swap meet, you'll know what to look for. So 2829 is a 21-inch wire wheel, small hubcap. 3031 is a 19-inch wire wheel with a 3-inch hubcap, and then in 32 they went to the standard wire 18-inch. 3334 is 17-inch. 35 only is 16-inch. That's the hot rod wire that everybody likes to run. 36, they went to the wide 5 and ran that to 39. And 40, they went to the Steely here, 5 on 5.5 pattern, same as the other ones. All the other wheels before the wide 5 are 5.5 pattern on the cars and the trucks. The 16-inch Steely is going to run from 40 to 48 on cars, and then 48 to 52 as a 16-inch on trucks. And in 53, they went to the 15-inch and ran that all the way to 63. So if you're out looking, you're looking for wheels, you know what you got now. Or you got a pile and you're like, I don't know what these are. I have no idea. They look like this, but they look like those. And you know, the 16s, 17s, and 18s all look identical other than just the size. And by quick glance, you can't really tell if you have not been around them a lot. You can't really tell just by looking at them real quick. Other than, like I said, the valve stem hole on the 17 and 18 is flared and the 16 is flat. So that's going to be like quick. If you're at a swap meet and you go, man, what is this? Oh yeah, I remember Cadillac said 17s and 18s are flared valve stem hole. 16s are flat. These are 16s. I love them. I want them for my hot rods. There you go. So that's going to get you going. That's going to ID all the wheels for you. There you go, guys. Hope that didn't confuse you any and helped you out. It'll help you ID some wheels at the next swap meet. So if you have any questions about the wheels or need some help IDing one, I don't know all of them, but I can probably help you. Drop a comment below or email me directly. Either one, doesn't matter. But hopefully this will help you next time you're at the swap meet and you're looking for some new wheels for your hot rod or your project, or you have some that you need to get rid of and you don't know what they are. This is going to help you. Like, share, and subscribe. Catch you guys later. Thanks.